It's time now for the best high school sports action from the WBCB Sports Network. Catch the best games from Bucks and Mercer County at WBCBSports.com and our Facebook page. Your home for high school sports is right here at WBCB 1490.
From Allentown High School, we welcome you to the Colonial Valley Conference Tournament Championship game here on the WBCB Sports Network, where today the 2-seed Notre Dame Irish will battle the top-seeded Allentown Redbirds for a spot in the history books. And a pleasant good evening to everyone. Alongside my broadcast partner, Joe O'Gorman, I'm Jordan Hirsch. Well, Joe, here we are, the heavyweight bout that everybody has been waiting for. Notre Dame, they come in with a 14-2 record, winners of 9 straight after getting past Heightstown 11-8 in the semis, and now they meet the 9th-ranked team in the state, the Allentown Redbirds, who enter at 16-2. They're on an 11-game win streak, and they've just obliterated the competition here in this tournament, most recently blowing past Princeton 19-3. It was the most goals they've scored and widest margin of victory of the entire season for Allentown on Friday. We know both of these teams can beat you in a multitude of ways, whether it be on the attack, with defense, or in net, but one can come out on top, and these squads are ready for war here tonight.
Yeah, these are certainly the two best teams in the Colonial Valley Conference. It's been that way all year. Both of them are coming into this playing very, very well. Allentown probably is one of the most lethal attacks around the area. And Notre Dame, you know, the history on Notre Dame is they win their games by defense. Their defense sets up their attack. So, you know, you're going to have offense versus defense in this one. And, you know, these teams have a lot of history. They've met in old Central Jersey finals back in the day. And they've been, you know, rivals now going on probably for 10, 15 years.
Yeah, most recently these two teams met back on April 9th. It was Allentown getting the home victory over Notre Dame 9-4 in that contest for Allentown. This, of course, the first CVC tournament. They've been here before in some of these local tournaments. They were in the last 3 Mercer County tournament finals, fell to Lawrenceville in all of those. But now that it's just the CVC, they do not have to worry about them. So Allentown looking to write their own history here tonight as they take on this Notre Dame team that comes in first in the CVC in scoring, averaging over 15 goals per game. They've been held under double digits just twice this season. Of course, one of those games was against Allentown. So these two teams playing with a trophy on the line here at Allentown High School. And today's game is brought to you by the Revere Restaurant, Capital Health System, Notre Dame High School, the Trentonian, the Printing Guru, Glow of Washington Township, and A+ Sports Medicine. Stick checks about ready to get underway. We'll have the national anthem as well, and then we'll come back with the opening draw on the other side of this break here on WBCB.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Merrill Reese remind you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township. 1490 WBCB Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer County. Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Hi, Merrill Reese remind you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township. 1490 WBCB Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties. Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Hi, Merrill Reese remind you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township. 1490 WBCB Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties.
If you have aches and pains or chronic injuries, you can get relief locally right here in Mercer County at A-Plus Athlete Sports Medicine in Robbinsville. Dr. Adam Redlick, board-certified sports medicine physician, has been treating patients since 2009, providing relief for arthritis, hip, knee, shoulder, wrist, leg, ankle, or foot pain using non-surgical procedures, trigger point injections, cortisone, platelet-rich plasma injections, and other cutting-edge treatments. Dr. Redlick treats patients from 7 years to senior citizens at 8+ Sports Medicine, 38A Robbinsville, Allentown Road, also in Neptune, and Dr. Redlick hopes you enjoys today's match. Don't forget, if you miss any of today's action, you could read all about it in tomorrow's edition of the Trentonian. For your complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at Trentonian.com, the only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week. It's the Trentonian. Glow of Washington Township, New Jersey's premier destination for seasonal light shows, offering 2 spectacular experiences, their award-winning Christmas display, and their new Halloween showcase. If your business or brand wants to be a part of their dazzling mile-long journey through 650,000 animated lights dancing in perfect harmony with festive music, visit www.visitglow.com. That's www.visitglow.com. Elevate your brand with Glow. Today's Allentown Lacrosse match is brought to you by The Printing Guru. The Printing Guru can print anything, including screen-printed or supplemented apparel, uniforms for all teams or promotional items, and all events as well. For over 25 years, The Printing Guru has been serving our community. Visit The Printing Guru on Facebook or email theprintingguru@yahoo.com. Back here from Allentown High School, getting set for the Colonial Valley Conference Girls Lacrosse Championship game. This is the inaugural championship game. Allentown looking to get over the hump. They fell the last 3 years in the Mercer County tournament to Lawrenceville. As for Notre Dame, they look to continue their winning ways. They had a 22-13 victory over Robbinsville in the quarterfinals, of 22 goals, the most they have scored in the NJ.com era going back to 2011. First time they scored 20 or more since 2017.
Allentown did get a little revenge earlier this year. They beat Lawrenceville. So they got a little revenge for those 3 years of not winning.
We're going to redo this draw. It's Reese Parker in the center circle for Notre Dame.
I believe it's Marley White for Allentown.
2 of the better draw control players in this game. Marley White with 100. Reese Parker has 54. This one's up in the air, and it's being fought for, and Allentown is eventually going to come away with it with Marley White. And we are underway here from Allentown. White gets tripped from behind that time by Michaela Driscoll, and it'll remain with the Redbirds.
Allentown will push the offense. They like to run straight to their attack. They put Maya Lorenko behind the goal in the invert position.
Here is Lorenko. Back out to Addison Wagner. She deals it off. And it's sent over now to Marley White. Marley White, a Temple University commit, 44 goals, 17 assists on the season. Now Lorenko. Back out. And into the middle now goes Minchwater, and she bounces it in.
That's a Wagner.
Check that, Addison Wagner. And Addison Wagner, the Rider University commit, she has Allentown on the board in the first minute of this game. It's 1-0 Redbirds. Addison Wagner, that's her 41st goal of the season and her 99th of her career. Addison Wagner's had one heck of a CVC tournament, now 8 goals this tournament. For reference, she had 4 in her previous 6 local tournament games going back the previous couple of seasons.
She had a career high 4 goals in the semifinals against Princeton. She's really come on at the end of the year here.
Notre Dame going to change this one up with Kate Moog taking this draw. It's up in the air. White and Moog battle for it, and it's into the stick of Marley White. That's one thing that Allentown will do. Part of the reason they're 16-2, 9th ranked in the state, they just have possession more than their opponents more often than not. One of the better teams in the draw control category. They average 14 draw control wins on the year.
It's the old adage, Jordan. Possession's 9/10 of the law.
That's exactly right. Here's the sophomore Maddie Sullivan. Down to Lorenko at the side of the cage. Behind they go. Back out in front. Here's Wagner, the goal scorer. Now White across to Sullivan. They wheel it around to Lorenko. Tries to cut in front. Here's Sullivan bouncing it past Riley Carr. Just like that, it's 2-0 Redbirds, not even 2 minutes in. This lethal Allentown offense, second in the CVC in scoring, just under 14 goals per game. They have been red hot here this month, outscoring opponents their previous 4 games 71-9. They have scored 15 plus 9 times, 8 since April 7th, and in 7 of their last 8 games. And their offense is off to the start they wanted to here in this championship game.
And both the assists come off of Maya Lorenko.
Putting her up to 56 assists on the season. Lorenko now 3 shy of that Allentown all-time record. Maya Lorenko has really kind of put scoring in the rearview mirror this season, focused on facilitating. And she's got the first 2 assists. Here comes Maddie Sullivan, gets it underneath, and a save made by Riley Carr. 2 of the better goalkeepers in the CVC in this game. Of course, Megan Conroy, the Notre Dame University commit, with a save percentage up over 61%. Her counterpart, Riley Carr, not that far behind, 49.3% for her save percentage.
Carr had her 100th save in the last game in the semifinals.
Yeah, she's up to 105 now for the season, 107 goals against.
Conroy's the best in the area. She's been in the goal since freshman year. She's the 2-time Trentonian goalie of the year, and she'll probably be 3.
So Notre Dame now with their first possession, trailing 2-0. And we're going to get a whistle, and I think Brian Fisher is going to use his first timeout. So 9:23 to play, first quarter here from Allentown. Redbirds on top 2-0 in the CVC championship game. And don't forget, if you miss any of today's action, you could read all about it in tomorrow's edition of the Trentonian. For complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at trentonian.com. The only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week. It's the Trentonian. If you have aches and pains or chronic injuries, you can get relief locally right here in Mercer County at A+ Athlete Sports Medicine in Robbinsville. Dr. Adam Redlick, board-certified sports medicine physician, has been treating patients since 2009, providing relief for arthritis, hip, knee, shoulder, wrist, leg, ankle, or foot pain using non-surgical procedures, trigger point injections, cortisone, PRP injections, and other cutting-edge treatments as well. Dr. Redlick treats patients from 7 years to senior citizens, and at A+ Sports Medicine, you can find them 38A Robbinsville, Allentown Road. Also in Neptune, Dr. Redlick hopes you enjoy today's match. So far, Joe, Allentown enjoying today's match with their quick strike offense.
Yeah, that's what they are. They're just an offensive team. They're almost like a juggernaut, the way they get the ball down there quick.
Well, Parker has this one taken away by Wagner, who's been all over the place in the first 3 minutes.
And Notre Dame can't afford turnovers in a game like this. They're going to have trouble stopping them offensively, so you can't give them too many chances.
Reese Parker, not typically an easy player to slow down, and an excellent takeaway that time by Wagner. They set up Lorenko behind the cage once again, out to Wagner on the left side.
Now you have 2 of the greatest scorers in Mercer County here in Reese Parker and Delaney Nolan for Allentown.
Redbirds that time just give it right back, so a couple of tough turnovers on each of the last 2 possessions, and it goes back to the Irish. Yeah, for Reese Parker, you know that Notre Dame is going to be counting on her if they're going to want to pull the upset against the Redbirds here today. And part of that, Joe, comes on the defensive side of things for the Irish, too. They've got to be able to get possession and maintain it throughout this game, because we've seen what Allentown can do when they've got the ball.
Yeah, the Notre Dame defense, they play a zone defense, and it's usually been very, very effective. every now and then they'll switch it off to like a box and one type thing when you have a very high scorer.
That was a clean strip that time by Reese Parker. She outlets Michaela Driscoll, trying to get around Maglioso, who's being pestered down the far sideline.
Maglioso is one of the top defenders on the Allentown team.
She's sticking right with Driscoll all the way back behind the net.
They lost one of their big ones, Charlie Witowitz, to ACL in the first Notre Dame game this year. She's down there on the sidelines in crutches.
And because of that, Sophia LaSalle has joined the starting group. She's filled in quite nicely for Allentown. Redbirds haven't really missed a beat despite being down one of their top defenders.
Yeah, I think the key for Allentown the last several years, it's been like, somebody leaves, somebody comes in who's just as good, if not better. They have a great feeder system going on here.
Valentino right up the gut, and she bounces it past Megan Conroy, and Capri Valentino, with her 54th goal of the season, gets Notre Dame on the board and cuts the deficit in half. It's a 2-1 game.
Valentino's been the big assist player for Notre Dame as well.
Yeah, Valentino, who was a force last season, ended up getting injured for a few games, and that's why the numbers don't necessarily reflect her production last year, but this year now up to 101 points. And just to put in perspective how good she was, she had 3 points against Heightstown in the semis. That was her first game with fewer than 5 since April 15th.
Yeah, she's been on fire.
Moog going against White in the circle, and Marley White wins that one cleanly for the Redbirds. Up over 100 draw control wins for her on the season and counting. Wagner back to White. Allentown, we've seen them work it very methodically around the perimeter, looking for a lane, and once they've found it, they've gotten it into the center, and that's how they've gotten both of their goals. Lorenko gets checked that time by her opposite number 9 and Grace Koziel, and that'll draw the whistle. Here comes Lorenko, looking to get it out in front, and does. Marley White up top to Wagner, and across to Maddie Sullivan, just a sophomore. Lorenko trying to work it against Koziel, who knocked it out of her stick, but she was able to recover. Wagner works her way in front, goes for the scoop shot, and I believe Carr got a piece, and it's going to be Notre Dame possession.
I think she was in the crease as a call.
Yeah, let's see. Now they're calling some of the Redbirds back.
Your guess is as good as mine on this one.
They're going to say it stays with Allentown.
All right, gift number 1 goes to Allentown.
Redbirds will take that. Sullivan across to Marley White. Back to Sullivan, they play catch. Here's Lorenko, trying to facilitate from behind the cage again. Finds White. And Sullivan once more. Marley White up top. Lorenko had it knocked away. And I believe that was done so illegally.
Yep.
That's a right from the side, yep. Second shooting space of this possession for Lorenko.
They're directing traffic right now.
She defers to Wagner behind the net. Sent out in front, a shot and a save made by Riley Carr. And now she's made back-to-back saves, starting to find her groove after the first 2 got past her.
Yeah, Carr's been playing very well, too. This is her first year starting, and she's really come on, had a good year.
Yeah, sat behind Margaret Ritson last year, who was a great goalie for Notre Dame. And now Riley Carr stepping into the spotlight and making the most of it. That save percentage right up around 50% this year. 4:46 to play, opening quarter. Allentown on top 2-1. They scored 2 goals in the first 2 minutes. The Irish have been able to settle them down and now looking for the equalizer. Driscoll looking for some help. That's Capri Valentino, the goal scorer, deferring to Reese Parker. Parker this season, 62 goals, 21 assists. Just a junior, she's 1 goal away from 150 and a point away from 200.
She's been looking for that, I think, for the last 2 or 3 games.
Parker in the win over Heightstown in the semis had a career-high 6 draw control wins. Right now, we talked about Allentown playing very methodically. Notre Dame is taking that to heart on this possession, showing no particular hurry.
Yeah, no, patience is going to have to be a part of their game.
No shot clock here, and again, this is what we talked about. Sometimes the best way to try to beat Allentown is just make sure you have possession longer than they do. This is a team that's very good in the circle, a team that can win a lot of draws, and looks like Brian Fisher and his team, their plan is to just hold on to this ball, let the clock run, and don't let Allentown get any momentum offensively.
Yeah, it's almost like a slow down game in basketball. You do it, you try to force the other team to get too antsy and too frustrated back there into mistakes and leave somebody open.
And just like basketball, it's high school, so they don't have to worry about any shot clocks. Well, Notre Dame looking to tie this one up once they eventually get going.
I think he said he's looking to go around 2 minutes.
Notre Dame looking to snap an 8-game losing streak to Allentown.
Yeah, they haven't won since COVID.
Yeah, May 20th, 2019.
Yep.
That was the last time they beat Allentown that season. They ended up finishing as the Central Jersey Group 3 champions.
Yeah, and they had lost earlier that year to Allentown. Then they came back and beat them in the sectional final.
That clock's ticking its way down towards 2 minutes. Both of these teams getting a bit of a rest. There's been intermittent rain falling all day. It appears right now it's very light. Michaela Driscoll has it. 38 goals, 27 assists this season. She's really having a fantastic senior campaign. 65 points this year, had 63 in her previous 3 seasons combined.
Yeah, Driscoll has really stepped it up this year.
Here's Moog bouncing it, and she's able to sneak it past the outstretched stick of Megan Conroy. Patience pays off for the Irish, and we're locked at 2.
That was Reese Parker on the assist.
And so for Parker now, her 200th career point.
Notre Dame goal by number 12, Katie Moog.
Kate Moog pays it off with her 21st goal of the season, coming off of a 3-goal game against Heightstown in the semis, tying her career high.
Yep. She was very good the other night against Heightstown.
Now she's in the center circle along with Marley White, who's dominated this category through the first quarter so far. Moog against White. It's straight up in the air. And White was able to pick up the ground ball, but we've got a whistle. And it is going to stay with the Redbirds. Irish will back off on defense. So here comes Allentown looking to take the lead back. They've been stopped by Riley Carr and committed a turnover on each of their last 3 possessions after scoring on their first 2. 75.
They're going to start to look for Delaney Nolan a little bit. Number 11.
Haven't called her name at all so far. And into the middle it went to Hayden Raff, and she turned it over. And so Allentown has now come up empty on each of their last 4 possessions, and some time for the Irish. 52 seconds to play till the end of quarter number 1. A chance for Notre Dame to go in front. Aubrey Davis up the sideline. Davis, one of the better goal scorers on this Irish squad. Off to Valentino. And now over to Driscoll.
I believe Davis had 4 in the semifinals, too. She really came out and took charge the other night. Scored a couple goals early, got Notre Dame in front.
Brian Fisher calling out the play to his squad, down to 15 seconds. Here comes Reese Parker. Parker towards the center, gonna wheel around with it. Underneath it goes, and that one's bounced just high that time. Valentino goes back to try to save it, and time's going to run out. Allentown got the first two, Notre Dame got the last two. 12 minutes down, 36 to go here in the CVC Tournament Championship game between Allentown and Notre Dame. We'll step aside, be back with the second quarter right after this here on WBCB.
$14.90 WBCB Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties. Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Hi, Merrill Reese reminding you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township.
Don't forget, if you miss any of today's action, you can read all about it in tomorrow's edition of the Trentonian. For your complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian or online at Trentonian.com. The only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week. It's the Trentonian.
I think Notre Dame won that first quarter, Jordan. You know, they did what they wanted to do. They kept the score down, scored the last two goals. Riley Carr came up big with a couple saves.
And now the team switched sides. It's a 2-2 game, and how about Ellie Marone picking up that ground ball? First time Notre Dame has been able to control off the draw. Marone looking to do it all by herself as she gets into Allentown territory. Yeah, I would say Allentown certainly got the better of the Irish the first 2 minutes. Then the last 10 minutes, it was really all Notre Dame.
Yeah, the defense stepped up.
Defense stepped up, and the very patient approach on offense as well, just keeping the ball out of Allentown's possession. And that's what they're going to do again right here. Notre Dame talked about their defense. They've held teams to 5 or fewer goals 8 times this season. Held this high-flying Redbirds team just 9 in their 9-4 loss back in April. Valentino, who's got a goal. Out in front, Driscoll tries to bounce it, and that's into the net of Megan Conroy, and she looks to outlet her squad very quickly up the field. Here's Lorenko. Let's see if she takes it to her office back behind the cage. There she goes. Lorenko looking to facilitate. Out it goes to Nyla Ledoux, the freshman. Here's Wagner, who's got one already. Lorenko at the side, working it against Koziel. That's been the matchup. Hayden Raff. As they work it around the perimeter with Wagner. Back to Marley White. Zips in and shoots it just wide. Not sure if Riley Carr got a piece of that one, but it was able to get past that right post. It'll stay with Allentown. They were closest to it.
Yeah, she might have ticked that out.
The Notre Dame bench certainly reacted like Carr got a piece. Lorenko lobs it in front, and Marley White, just like that, puts Allentown back on top. Blink and you might have missed that shot. It's 3-2 Allentown. Marley White, the junior, committed to Temple University, picks up goal number 45 on the season. Scored her 150th career goal in a 4-goal performance in the semifinals against Princeton.
And another assist for Maya Lorenko.
That puts her now 2 away from the Allentown all-time record. That was a perfect setup, too. Took something off that pass, and then Marley White certainly didn't take anything off that shot.
No, she's been very good. She has almost like a whip-it type situation.
And an excellent draw control win that time for Kate Moog. So Notre Dame starting to find their footing in the center circle here a bit. Irish looking for another quick response. It might have to be a slow, methodical response the way they've been playing it, but Reese Parker has got it now. Off to Driscoll as she has it knocked away. And they're going to say Allentown ball. How about that poke check that time? I believe it was that Marley White back there?
No, I think that's Lorenko. Lorenko got it back there.
It was a nice poke check that time, and we've seen Allentown go to that play a couple of times now to force some turnovers. Lorenko sent that one in front, and then Carr comes up with the denial. It rolls out to Marley White.
Another good save by Carr on that one. That was just about point blank.
She's been busy, and she's been much better since the opening 2 minutes. She's really found her footing. Lorenko looking for a friend in red. Send it behind the cage, now out top. Marley White, and we've got a whistle.
There's your shooting space you've been looking for, Jordan.
And she's gonna get it in a very favorable position too.
8 meter.
That's what it looks like. So White against Carr with a chance to put Allentown back on top by 2 if she shoots. She wheels in, and she does get it past Carr. Was able to sneak it over her shoulder that time, and Marley White has a pair of goals in this quarter, and the Redbirds have rebuilt their advantage. It's a 4-2 game.
4-2 with 7:53 left in the first half.
Allentown, after struggling towards the end of that first quarter, committed a couple of turnovers, and Riley Carr was able to stand tall in net. Starting to refine their offense.
I realize there's 8 minutes left, but this would be a big draw for Notre Dame. They need this one. They can't let Allentown get 3 goals on them.
Yeah, Allentown, a team that can really score in bunches, right? I mean, they were taking on Princeton on Friday. Princeton, they had a goal towards the end of, I believe, the first to cut it to 6-2.
Yep.
And then a 10-0 run basically sealed that. Right up the gut goes Reese Parker, and she's stopped by Conroy in goal. And then it deflects to Maglioso, and she sets up Conroy. Reese Parker was looking to do it all right there, and it was everything but the finish for the junior.
Yeah, Conroy came up big. She's done many times.
Marley White right up the center. Seen both teams run their offense very slowly. Allentown just kind of trying to dissect the Notre Dame defense. Meanwhile, the Irish kind of just like to eat clock and make sure they've got the ball for as long as they possibly can. Lorenko in front to White. Back across, and a bounce shot, and another goal for Allentown. I believe Maddie Sullivan, the goal scorer on that one.
17, Maddie Sullivan.
And Sullivan now extends the run to 3-0 in the lead to 5-2 Redbirds.
So when White's not scoring, she's making assists in this quarter.
Yeah, Marley White has really been all over the field. Maddie Sullivan, that is her 5th goal of the tournament. And we're going to get a whistle and a timeout. That'll give me a chance to let you know that Glow of Washington Township, New Jersey's premier destination for seasonal light shows, offering 2 spectacular experiences, their award-winning Christmas display and their new Halloween showcase as well. If your business or brand wants to be a part of their dazzling mile-long journey through 650,000 animated lights dancing in perfect harmony with festive music, visit www.visitglow.com. That's www.visitglow.com. Elevate your brand with Glow. Today's Allentown lacrosse match is brought to you by the Printing Guru. Printing Guru can print anything, including screen-printed or supplemented apparel and uniforms for all teams or promotional items for all events and occasions. For over 25 years, the Printing Guru has been serving our community. Visit the Printing Guru on Facebook or email theprintingguru@yahoo.com. For your custom quote today, no job is too small. The Printing Guru hopes you enjoy today's match. 6:59 to play, second quarter. Redbirds on top 5-2. They've scored the last 3.
I give all those people on the other side credit for coming out tonight there with their umbrellas. Got a fairly decent crowd here for the final. In the rain.
The umbrellas much needed today, and you're right, Joe. A lot of people out here as these 2 heavyweights do battle in the CVC championship game. That's the thing with lacrosse, and especially lacrosse fans and families of the players. It's a game that kind of gets played in any weather. So they're out here, rain, snow, sleet, sunshine. You know, they prefer the latter of those 4.
Yep, and it's a game that's growing in leaps and bounds.
And a nice strip that time and takeaway by Ellie Marone. Notre Dame certainly holding their own. That draw control does go to Allentown, but they've been able to come up with possession, forcing some turnovers. They've been able to scoop up a couple ground balls in this first half.
Yeah.
That was one of the things they really struggled with the last time these 2 teams met. Allentown had a 13-5 advantage in the draw controls in that one. And you got to believe that's kind of leading to Brian Fisher's game plan, which is this right here.
Yeah, they're still early, so he's not forcing anything if you don't have to.
Yeah, there's an Irish team that, of course, Brian Fisher, the head coach, he knows they could score goals in bunches just like Allentown can.
Yeah, Brian's been around a few years. He's got 18 years between a couple years at West Windsor South and then now at Notre Dame for about the last 15.
Yeah, this is his 12th season, 13th year overall. Of course, 2020 when no games were played. 172 and 57 career record.
Yep. And on the other side, Justin Schmidt's been very good since he took over about 3 years ago now at Allentown. He's been to 3 Mercer County tournament finals, been to 2 sectional finals. Unfortunately, back then Haddonfield was in the group, so Haddonfield's moved up to Group 1, so kind of a little bit of a clearance there for Allentown.
You got to believe they looked at this season and saw no Lawrenceville for the CVC tournament and no Haddonfield, as this one's knocked in by Capri Valentino as she gets it underneath the foot of Conroy. And Notre Dame's slow, methodical offense paying dividends once again, and it's 5-3. Valentino now 1 goal away from that hat trick.
I didn't see who had the assist.
Valentino, the goal scorer, she stays red hot. A player who's really been red hot all season. 7 or more points this season in 8 games for Valentino. Yeah. Her and Reese Parker. As Kate Moog comes up with another draw control win, so Notre Dame continues to go punch for punch with Allentown in the center circle.
Yeah, they've had every draw this quarter. You know, Notre Dame's two big weapons, Valentino and Parker, are both juniors, so.
It is a Notre Dame team that they went 12-8 last season. Lost Amelia Eilbacher as well as their starting goalie, Margaret Ritson. They haven't missed a beat, and not only that, they've really elevated their game this year.
Yeah, they have. They have. I didn't expect them to be as good as they are this year, but they've really come out and put it all together.
Their 2 losses this season are to Allentown and Haddonfield, who entered today a combined 29-4.
Yeah.
Tell you what, neither of these teams are going to need, I think, any hydration when they go off to halftime or any of these timeouts, because they kind of just get to stand around here whenever Notre Dame has the ball.
Yeah, Notre Dame knows it can't win a 19-12 game, so they got to keep it low, stay within striking distance.
Yeah, the Irish, who are averaging over 16 goals per game this tournament. You know they're probably not going to get there, and Brian Fisher, he's quite all right with that. Wants to play this defensive style and patient approach on the offensive side of things. I mean, in this case, you got to feel like he believes that Notre Dame's best defense can be their offense today.
Yeah, it is, and it's that way every game. That's everything starts with their defense. It really does. And when you got Kate Moog getting the draws like she has been, it just takes a lot of pressure off the offense.
Yeah, it really helps execute their game plan, too, because you know they want to play this slow style of lacrosse. You can only do that if you've got possession.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, like we said a couple draws ago, Notre Dame got both of them, the last 2, and they needed both of them because you don't want to get into a situation where it's 7-2, possibly heading to halftime.
Notre Dame, I don't believe they've even entered the 12-meter on this possession. Driscoll across to Parker. Clock down to 2:38. We'll see if the game plan is to run it down to 2 minutes just like they did in the first. That ended up resulting in a Kate Moog goal.
And the whole point is for the Allentown defense, they got to stay patient too. You know, they can't take too many chances on stick checks and things like that, because you don't want to give them a free position shot if you don't have to.
Yeah, Allentown's defense, they've been content to just sit back here. They haven't really tried to rush anything. On top by 2. It would be interesting to see what happens if Notre Dame gets the lead if Allentown's defense becomes a bit more aggressive.
Very well can. I mean, they have some good players back there. Magliozzo, Mitch Warner are very good. And LaSalle has stepped up, as you said.
Well, here goes Notre Dame. Driscoll turned back by Magliozzo. Finds Valentino. Valentino switches sides and back up top.
It's like they're running a wheel.
They at least got inside the 12 right there. And here's Michaela Driscoll to slow it down. The clock's at 1:33, and they're going to back off again. So they had the same type of game plan they did in the first. That time, nothing opened up. And now it might just be run this all the way down.
Well, it's one of those situations where even if you don't get a goal, you haven't given them one. So, you know, it's nothing lost, nothing ventured, nothing lost.
And it's really helping quiet the Allentown offense. These two teams enter the top 2 in the CVC in scoring. Notre Dame 15.4 goals a game, Allentown 13.7. Also the top 2 defensive teams, Allentown allowing 4.9 goals per contest, and Notre Dame a couple ticks higher at 6.9, second in the CVC. Brian Fisher and company shouting out there's 45 seconds left.
Traditionally in the CVC, the seeds have usually held, whether it was the county tournament or this first CVC tournament. The seeds were pretty well, and they stayed pretty even all the way through.
Yeah, I guess the only, you could call it upset in this tournament was Princeton, the number 5 seed, winning in the quarterfinals.
Valley, yeah.
Down to 12 seconds. Irish maybe took a little too much time there. Driscoll trying to put the moves on. Clock at 5. Driscoll's got to get busy. That shot was disrupted, and that's going to be the end. Wait, they've got 1 second left. Not sure how much Notre Dame can really do in this final second.
It's all going to depend if they can pop somebody out for any kind of a shot.
Oh, they're going to give him a free position. Wow. So the Irish catch a break with 1 second left. Michaela Driscoll with a chance to pull Notre Dame to within a goal.
Got an Allentown player out for 2 minutes.
Driscoll, and a nice save that time by Conroy. That means it will be 11 on 10, woman up for Notre Dame when the third quarter gets underway. But after the opening 24 minutes, Allentown, they have a 5-3 lead. We've reached halftime here in the Girls Lacrosse CVC Tournament Championship game. Allentown on top by 2, the number 1 seed, looking to get over that hump here in a local tournament. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back with our halftime show and then the third quarter of action on the other side of this break here on WBCB.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Hi, Merrill Reese reminding you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township. 1490 WBCB, Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties. Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. 1490 WBCB Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties.
If you have aches and pains or chronic injuries, you can get relief locally right here in Mercer County at A+ Athlete Sports Medicine in Robbinsville. Dr. Adam Redlick, board-certified sports medicine physician, has been treating patients since 2009, providing relief for arthritis, hip, knee, shoulder, wrist, leg, ankle, or foot pain using non-surgical procedures, trigger point injections, cortisone, platelet-rich plasma injections, and other cutting-edge treatments. Dr. Redlick treats patients from 7 years old to senior citizens at A+ Sports Medicine, 38A Robbinsville, Allentown Road. Also in Neptune, and Dr. Redlick hopes you enjoys today's match. Don't forget, if you miss any of today's action, you can read all about it in tomorrow's edition of the Trentonian. For your complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at trentonian.com. The only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week. It's the Trentonian. Glow of Washington Township, New Jersey's premier destination for seasonal light shows, offering 2 spectacular experiences. If your business or brand wants to be a part of their dazzling mile-long journey through 650,000 animated lights, dancing in perfect harmony, it's the second time. You can visit www.visitglow.com. And today's Allentown Lacrosse matchup is brought to you by the Printing Guru. The Printing Guru can print anything, including screen-printed or supplemented apparel, uniforms for all teams, promotional items for all events and occasions as well. For over 25 years, the Printing Guru has been serving our community. You can visit their website at theprintingguru.com or theprintingguru@yahoo.com. Send emails as well. 5-3, Allentown on top after the opening 24 minutes. Joe, it was a very defensive style in that first half. We saw Allentown quickly jump on top 2-0. Notre Dame got the next 2 goals. Redbirds opened the second quarter with 3 in rapid succession, but Notre Dame, with their methodical offense, held the ball for the last 5 minutes or so of that second half. They weren't able to score there at the end, but they're going to be on the power play at the start of the third. And we were talking about it off air. If you asked Brian Fisher, or if you told Brian Fisher that his team was going to be down by 2 after halftime, got to figure he would take that.
Yeah, I think he'd be pretty happy with it because, he's playing his game right now. Allentown was able to get ahead, but they haven't been able to stretch the lead out. So, Notre Dame plays that methodical offense where, they wait for that open shot and they hope to force the defense into a mistake. But, right now we're back. This draw is very important.
Yeah, Notre Dame's actually had the edge.
Yep. Notre Dame won every draw in the second quarter.
And for Allentown, getting possession very important as they look to build this lead. Kate Moog, Marley White. We're underway in the second half, and it's won cleanly that time by Allentown. Back to Nyla Ledoux. Haven't called Delaney Nolan's name at all in this game. Allentown still holding the 2-goal lead despite that, but gotta believe they're going to be looking towards their leading goal scorer here in the second half. Lorenko back in her office behind the cage, all the way out to White. Whipped across into the middle. And that time, Sullivan decided just to take it out. Here's Wagner sneaking it past Riley Carr. And Addison Wagner's got her second.
It's a big goal for Allentown because it gives them back their 3-goal lead.
They go on top 6-3. And that for Addison Wagner is her 100th goal of her career as well.
Allentown goal by number 19, Addison Wagner. That is her
Addison Wagner in her third season
goal.
reaches the 100 goal mark, a fantastic achievement for her.
Yeah, she's been very hot lately. She had a good game in the semifinals. She's a quiet kid, but she's really stepped up and become a little bit more aggressive this year.
Yeah, now 6 goals in the last 2 games for Wagner. 42 goals for her this season, the most for her career in any given year. This draw is won by Notre Dame, and then Parker gets interrupted. And we'll see if they call this a free position for Notre Dame, and it looks like that's what it's going to be, as Parker inside the 8-meter. A chance to get that goal right back. Parker the shot, and a save made by Conroy. She now gets double teamed behind the cage and lost it out of bounds. And I think it was Notre Dame who was closest to it, and that's what their officials say. Right back to the Irish it goes. Valentino to Marone. Notre Dame with a bit of a pep in their step now, trailing by 3 in the third.
Valentino runs the offense from up top.
There she is on the side right now. Well, just when it looked like Notre Dame might try to play with more of a sense of urgency, they are going to back off.
Not now.
Here comes Parker. She's typically the spark, and that one was deflected up high. Now Parker's been on the ground, it seems like, more than she's been up on her feet today. And we're going to have a yellow card issued.
Parker made a nice move to get open there.
And Parker is still down. They call the yellow card on the freshman Nyla Ledoux.
Hopefully she's okay.
Yeah, that would be a very tough loss for Notre Dame if Parker wasn't able to continue.
That brings up that debate, you know, does the rain make a difference on the field? Slippery? Is turf, you know, turf with ACLs?
Yeah, we haven't really seen anybody go down on their own today. That time again, Parker was kind of body checked down to the ground.
Yeah.
But still can't be easy playing out there on a field that's taken a lot of water today.
Yeah. Well, I told you earlier, Charlie Witowitz from one of the best defenders on Allentown, she tore her ACL. Allison Klinger at Robbinsville, she tore her ACL. And in her first year of lacrosse, Brian Fisher's daughter, McKenna, tore her ACL playing for the Irish JV team.
Maurice Parker gets carted off, and Kelly Demsko is going to be her replacement. Demsko, a senior, 3 goals and an assist this season. This is going to be her first appearance in the CVC tournament.
And for Charlie, it's tough because she's a senior. Well, next year she's headed to Montana State.
She's going to put quite the amount of miles on her.
That's right.
On her.
That's right. You ain't coming home for the weekend. Let's put it that way.
So Demsko will be the one to take this shot. Instead, she'll back off and defer to Kate Moog. Moog wheels around, gets towards the side, and we've got another whistle now. The clock was not moving. That's what this one's for. Oh, they're going to give a free position shot now to Kate Moog. Chance for her second of the day. Moog, a high one, and it's deflected away by Conroy up over the cage. It's scooped up by Aubrey Davis and then taken back by Allentown. Nice outlet pass that time from Conroy. Connects with Hayden Raff.
Conroy's come up big early here in this period.
And our offense looking to build on this 3-goal lead. They haven't been up by more than 3. And now let's see how Justin Schmidt's squad elects to play this. On top by 3. They find themselves 21 minutes away from a CVC title, and we'll see if they want to take a page out of Notre Dame's book and play patiently.
You're right, Jordan. He might get lured into that, Jordan. That's not their offense, though.
Raff back to Lorenko. As she kind of goes back into the corner. We've seen Lorenko when she's been facilitating. She's kind of directly behind the net.
What he's doing now is he's trying to open up the middle, because he'll run somebody down the middle, and that's how they'll try to score. But he has to wait for Notre Dame to come out and pick her up.
And eventually Notre Dame's going to have to get aggressive here, or Allentown's just going to run the clock.
When you have a 3-goal lead, I guess that's a luxury.
Yeah, neither of these
Here
teams
comes
have,
Notre Dame. Now she'll start to play.
and neither of these teams have really wanted to play, I guess, a very exciting style, but both teams just have one goal in mind, and that's that CVC trophy.
And I think a lot of it goes to the respect they have for each other. You know, they know that both these teams are capable of scoring in bunches. So
Lorenko, she starts up.
he was waiting for the penalty to be over. So now they're back at full strength.
And that's going to allow the Redbirds to begin to set up their offense. Sullivan to
Look for the
Lorenko.
middle.
Lorenko tried to get it into the middle. It was deflected by Michaela O'Connell. Ball still loose on the ground. Fallon Parker fights for it, but Lorenko takes it away. And then Parker commits a foul.
No, I think it went out of bounds off Allentown.
Let's see, there was an original whistle, and Maya Lorenko's looking on in confusion. Yeah, I think it is going to stay with Allentown. They call the foul first.
Notre Dame was going the other way.
One of the coaches is shouting for a timeout.
I think this is Allentown's.
With that timeout, gives me a chance to remind you that if you have aches and pains or chronic injuries, you can get relief locally right here in Mercer County at A-Plus Athlete Sports Medicine in Robbinsville. Dr. Adam Redlick, board-certified sports medicine physician, has been treating patients since 2009, providing relief for arthritis, hip, knee, shoulder, wrist, leg, ankle, or foot pain using non-surgical procedures, trigger point injections, cortisone shots, platelet-rich plasma injections, and other cutting-edge treatments. Dr. Redlick treats patients from 7 years old to senior citizens at A-Plus Sports Medicine at 38A Robbinsville, Allentown Road, also in Neptune, and Dr. Redlick hopes you enjoy today's match. Well, two very exciting offenses, but two defenses as well that are known for really their staunch capabilities in this game. And so far, it's been the defense on both sides. Of course, neither team has necessarily wanted to play a very exciting brand of lacrosse, but once those offenses on both sides have gotten going, Megan Conroy, Riley Carr have both been very strong in net. And
Yep, you're right. They've come up when they had to.
yeah, and really both defenses haven't allowed that many shots on goal either.
Yep.
We've got 7:02 to play here in quarter number 3. Allentown with possession on top 6-3. Back to action with Sullivan across to Adriana Serace. And now Lorenko. This is what Allentown's done. They've worked it around the perimeter as they try to get something open in the middle.
The Notre Dame defense does a very, very good job of keeping that middle not clogged, but just defenders right on their player.
Lorenko had that pass deflected out by Fallon Parker. It'll stay with the Redbirds. Here's Marley White. Up top to Sullivan. Across to Serace. And now Lorenko once more. They continue to just wheel it all the way around the cage. Now someone gets open in front, and they score. That's Hayden Raff with her first goal of the game. It's a 7-3 Redbirds lead. Starting to take command halfway through this third quarter.
Former score for Allentown. Puts them up 7-3.
Raff's been playing very well too for the Redbirds.
Yeah, she had coming into this game 4 points in each of the first two previous tournament games. Those 8 points in a 2-game span were the most in a 2-game span of her career. She stepped into a much bigger role this season and has really flourished. That was her 40th point of the year.
Notre Dame needs this draw to just get some more possession time, and Allentown needs it to try to give himself a nice 5-goal advantage.
False start will do it again between Moog and White. It's up and it's taken by Reese Parker, so a clean win that time for Notre Dame. Down by 4, how do they play it now?
I think he's got to be a little bit more aggressive, be a little bit more conscious of moving to the goal.
Right now, Michaela Driscoll seems to have no intent of moving forward. Good to see Reese Parker back out there with her team. She's taking a peek at the clock.
Yeah, I think he said started at 5, Brian Fisher.
Parker makes her move a little earlier than that, and now gets forced back. Allentown tries to pressure her on defense and force her to give it up that time to Ellie Marone. Marone looking for some space and just none there. You can tell Notre Dame trying to start to force it towards the middle, and Allentown's defense has done a nice job keeping them on the outside. Driscoll this time gets forced back. Over to Parker. Parker makes the move and sends it towards the middle. Valentino fights for it there. Allentown looking to come away with it. Bunch of bodies in on this one. And the ground ball is picked up by Allentown, and they'll race the other way.
It's a big turnover for Notre Dame.
They had that possession for over a minute and just couldn't really do anything. Kind of got stuck in the mud when they tried to get it into the middle of that 12-meter. There's Delaney Nolan behind the cage and then just thrown right into the glove of Riley Carr, who says, "I'll take that, thank you very much."
They're the easy ones.
Right into the net, I should say. So the Irish get it back, still trailing by 4 with 3:48 to go in the third.
I think Justin Schmitz moved Delaney behind the net to try to get her a little bit more involved, because Notre Dame's been guarding her almost like a box and one.
Well, that one was taken away, and Allentown was closest to it. They win games oftentimes with their defense. The offense can do a lot, but the defense starting to flex their muscles here out of halftime. Notre Dame hasn't scored in over a quarter worth of game action. Lorenko still sitting 2 assists shy of that Allentown all-time record.
Pretty confident she'll pick that up before the end of the year. She usually gets 3 or 4 every time out.
Yeah, of course, still the rest of this game, a couple more games to go in the regular season before sectionals.
Yep. I think they have Cherry Hill West coming here next week, and I think they might, I don't know if they go to Southern or not. There's another one.
Yeah, Sullivan with another goal. You see what happens when Allentown's able to dissect the Notre Dame defense, get it into the middle. It's led to really all of their 8 goals now in this game. They're on top by 5, starting to pull away here with 2:40 to go in the third.
That's 3 for Sullivan on the day.
And Notre Dame, their defense has shown flashes in this game. But Allentown really starting to show why they're the 9th-ranked team in the state, #1 team in this tournament. It just looks a little bit more fluid on the Allentown side compared to the Notre Dame side right now.
As we said earlier, Allentown's been the most dominant team in the CVC for the last 3 or 4 years.
They get it back right here, and a quick shot, and a nice, oh no, it got past Riley Carr. Marley White picks up another one. She was able to sneak it off the stick that time of Carr, and it crossed the goal line.
Number 5, Marley White.
Marley got that right off the draw.
So she does do it all by herself, and now it's a 9-3 Allentown lead.
It's going to make it tough for Notre Dame to come back, especially with their style of play. They're going to have to open it up.
Yeah, at this point now, if the Irish are able to get control, they can't really wait around much longer. First, they've got to get control, and it's not going to happen right here. Marley White with a clean win that time. She tries to get around Reese Parker, who caught her up high with her stick.
You know, you put a couple more up for Allentown, and they're going to be the one holding the ball when we get to the 4th quarter.
Looking to eclipse double digits once again are the Redbirds. Sullivan with 1:52 on the 3rd quarter clock, down to the side of the cage with Lorenko.
I think you have to go back to those 2 big saves Megan Conroy made there at the end of the period to keep Notre Dame off the scoreboard.
A nice save that time by Riley Carr, but you're right, Joe, especially the one on the free position shot with a couple seconds left. That could have pulled Notre Dame to within 1.
Yep, I agree. That's why you get letters from University of Notre Dame. You can make those saves.
Yeah, of course, this Redbirds roster just littered with Division I talent.
Yep.
Perhaps none better than Megan Conroy, who in a couple of years is going to be playing goalie at Notre Dame University in South Bend. Notre Dame always very good on the NCAA lacrosse circuit as well. Under a minute to play in the 3rd, and Reese Parker, the leading goal scorer for Notre Dame this season, who entered today's match with 62. Looking to get something going. Now they get it into the middle, and a shot and a save by Conroy.
She's getting the kudos right now. That was another big save.
Sophia LaSalle with it, and she has it poked away. Nice stick check that time by Parker. And Notre Dame looking to get something here at the end of the 3rd and get a little momentum going into the final quarter. Parker, just no space given to her whatsoever. Shoots anyways, and Conroy's got an easy save.
Parker's down again.
And by the time she gets up, the clock is going to run out here on the 3rd quarter. Redbirds extend their advantage to 6. They're 12 minutes away from a CVC tournament title. 4th quarter of action coming up right after this here on WBCB.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. 1490 WBCB Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties.
you've aches and pains or chronic injuries, you can get relief locally right here in Mercer County at A-Plus Athlete Sports Medicine in Robbinsville. Dr. Adam Redlick, board-certified sports medicine physician, has been treating patients since 2009, providing relief for arthritis, hip, knee, shoulder, wrist, leg, ankle, or foot pain using non-surgical procedures, trigger point injections, cortisone, platelet-rich plasma injections, and other cutting-edge treatments. Dr. Redlick treats patients from 7 years to senior citizens at A-Plus Sports Medicine, 38A Robbinsville, Allentown Road. Also in Neptune, Dr. Redlick hopes you enjoyed today's match. This CVC tournament championship game that sees the Redbirds on top 9-3. They scored 4 unanswered goals there, Joe, in the third quarter as they're really starting to put their foot down.
Yeah, two things. Number one, they got more draws. And number two, Megan Conroy came up big. She's been big in the second quarter and the third quarter. She's been the difference right now.
Yeah, Notre Dame had a slight edge when it came to the draw controls in the first half, but in the second, it's been all Allentown. They continue that trend here. Marley White, who's just been absolutely fantastic. And now the Redbirds on top by 6 with the ball. Gotta believe they're gonna want to play this slowly, and the Irish, they're gonna have to pressure a bit on defense. Here's Ledoux. Marone comes out on her, and she gets it away to Sullivan. Over to Lorenko. Lorenko behind the net, overshoots Wagner with that pass. And she's not able to catch up to it, so that's a turnover. It goes back to the Irish.
That's not something Allentown wants, that's for sure. It's a turnover.
Grace Marone trying to lead the charge. Off to Valentino. She's got some space here on the side. Valentino forced back around behind. Sends it out in front, and a shot and a goal. That's Kate Moog. That's her second, and that's just what the Irish needed. A quick strike tally. It's 9-4.
Exactly right about what they needed. That was it. Valentino to Moog.
Set up that time by the mistake on the other end for Allentown. The ill-advised turnover leads to a Valentino run out, and she's able to make quick work, finding Kate Moog right in front of the net that time. Notre Dame continues to use that bounce shot to their advantage.
I think if Allentown gets the goal, they might want to start thinking about slowing it down a little bit.
And now a change for this draw. It's going to be Reese Parker taking it against Marley White.
It's been going to Allentown the last several. Fisher thinks if he changes it up, make a difference here.
This one's won back that time by Allentown, right into the stick that time of Sullivan. So Allentown with possession. They turned it over last time. Of course, probably drew the ire of head coach Justin Schmid, his team at the time on top by 6, and now they commit nearly another turnover, but unable to pick it up was O'Connell, and that's going to lead to a goal for Hayden Raff. Man, Notre Dame had an opportunity to get the ball right back, and the bounce goes the way of the Redbirds, and then Hayden Raff was wide open in front of the cage, and she deposits it to put Allentown into double figures.
Goal by number 15, Hayden Raff.
Raff's 15th goal of the season, second of the day, and now 10th point of the tournament.
That's probably been the only goal Notre Dame's really given up. Do you know what I'm saying? Where their defense wasn't a factor.
And again, this bounce goes the way of Allentown. On top by 6 and nothing to lose. You got to believe they're going to be looking to run this score up a little bit, especially considering the fact Notre Dame still got to be wary of their goal scoring abilities.
You know, if Allentown can pull this out, it'll be end a lot of frustration for not winning anything the last several years, falling to Lawrenceville in the Mercer County tournament and Haddonfield in the state tournament. This will give them some redemption.
On top 10-4. They've been in control the entire second half. They weathered the storm of Notre Dame in that second quarter.
That's a good point, Jordan. You know, it's interesting to what Justin Schmidt, what his message was at halftime to his team, because they came out a different team and kind of set the tempo.
And figure one more goal or two here, and Allentown might be able to start that celebration. Under 9 minutes to play, it's a 6-goal game. CVC Tournament Championship game between number 1 Allentown, number 2 Notre Dame. These two teams entered this game a combined 30-4, and a beautiful shot by Marley White.
Wow. You got that right. She did a nice move of finding that little opening on the left side of the crease.
And then went top shelf on Riley Carr, and now it's 11-4. Marley White, she's certainly making a case now to be our Italian People's Bakery player of the game. The way she's played not only in the circle with the draws, but also on the offensive end as well. She's helped Allentown build this lead now up to 7.
It's getting tough for Notre Dame.
This one kind of took a weird hop, but no problem for White, who continues to show some dominance in the circle here in the second half.
That's every draw I've gone to Allentown in the fourth quarter.
We talked about it. Notre Dame did a good job in the first half controlling possession and controlling the tempo of this game. They haven't been able to win the draws as consistently, and Allentown's been able to do what they do best, and that's just run their offense, break down the Notre Dame defense, and put balls in the back of the net.
Yeah. And now they're being a little deliberate. You can't blame them.
Yeah, and we've seen Notre Dame now, since they've started to be more aggressive on defense, I mean, just because they've had to, it's led to some creases that Allentown has certainly exploited. Notre Dame, of course, trying to do what's really been impossible all season, and that's make a comeback against this very talented Allentown squad. This one now fought for behind the cage. Riley Carr, the goalkeeper's in there, and it is going to go back to the Irish with 8 minutes to play here in the CVC Tournament Championship game. Notre Dame looking for one last push.
Yeah, I don't think Allentown's Justin Smith's happy with the turnovers here. He's had 2 turnovers here in the fourth quarter. You know, you want to be able to put it away and keep it away.
Davis gets impeded that time as she came rushing up the field. She'll send it away to Michaela Driscoll. We're not going to see that methodical Notre Dame offense on this possession.
No, I don't think you should. They need to be a little bit more aggressive and think about going to the crease here.
They're being outscored 6-1 since the break. Marone off to Valentino. Valentino gets turned back now, double team, just nowhere to go. Valentino given absolutely zero airspace right there. And she'll get a shooting space because of it, but comes from behind the cage in front to Driscoll, and she shoots it wide. Valentino was closest to it when it went out, so it'll remain with Notre Dame.
Yeah. They got to find somebody open pretty quick. Every second that goes by makes it a little tougher.
Well, Valentino does just that.
Yep.
She finds the open Aubrey Davis, who goes top shelf and makes it 11-5.
Notre Dame's number 36, Aubrey Davis, on the score.
So 6:33 to go. Notre Dame now down by 6, and just now a matter of taking it one possession at a time for them. Got to win this next draw.
Yeah, the draws will be the key the rest of the way for the Irish, that's for sure. Gonna have to get them all. Valentino got a nice day going, 3 and 2. Or 2 and 3, 2 goals and 3 assists.
This one's won back by Allentown, now being scrapped for on the ground and taken by Ellie Marone. So Notre Dame has possession off the draw. First time we could say that here in the fourth.
Yeah, in the whole second half.
Got to be able to get one here pretty quick, though. 6:23 left. Marone trying to wheel her way in front. She does, but has no shooting lane and takes it back out.
Marone's one of the senior leaders on this team, and she had a little bit of a knee injury earlier in the year. She was worried that it might be an ACL, but it turned out to just be a sprain, so she's able to have a decent senior season.
Valentino behind the net. Sends it back. For Driscoll. Notre Dame, that shot goes wide. Sidearm sling that time from Grace Marone, who's playing up on the offensive end. Notre Dame retains possession. Gotta credit Allentown. They really made Reese Parker a non-factor in this one. She gets immediately doubled as she enters the 12. Flips to Driscoll. Here's Grace Marone trying to get it past Conroy and bounced it wide. It's going to stay with the Irish, but the clock ticking now down to 5 minutes left.
Notre Dame got a nice look there. That was wide open down the middle.
Moog being harassed as she's forced to take it back outside the 12-meter, and now she goes back behind the net. You'd see why this Allentown defense, they just, plain and simple, don't allow teams to score against them. The top-ranked defense in the CVC, allowing under 5 goals per game on average coming into this one.
The Allentown defense is doing everything they need to do right now. They're man up real tough.
And it's given the Irish just no lanes to be able to work anything even close towards the cage on this possession.
You almost have to try to force it to get yourself a shooting space call.
Driscoll having trouble getting in front as she's turned back by Maglioso. This is just excellent defense on this possession.
Under 4 minutes now.
Trying to weave her way through traffic for Notre Dame, and then Marone shoots that one wide. It will stay with the Irish, but every shot right now, Joe, is contested, and
yeah,
it's very tough for them to even get it on goal and let Conroy even become a factor.
Right,
Well, they might have just forced the free position right there.
There you go.
And so with 3:35 left.
But the clock don't stop on free position shots, so it did now.
Yeah, it's frozen right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's a card?
And so from the top of the key, Ellie Marone had that one deflected up over the cage. It still stays with Notre Dame. Parker, we've got a whistle. And now she'll get a chance from the edge of the 8.
Here's your shooting space.
Parker sends it back behind the net this time, and it's taken away by Conroy. And with that defensive stop, I mean, Notre Dame, they did all they could. They really tried to pull out all their last tricks right there.
Yep, there's not much Notre Dame can do now.
And the Redbirds got to believe they're going to be very patient on this possession.
You are correct.
Lorenko trying to get around Koziel. We've got a whistle.
And we got to take time to wish Rich Fisher a happy birthday.
Yes, we do.
Fish, a colleague.
Fish celebrated his birthday by sitting out in the pouring rain at Lawrence High School today.
He might need that A1 rehab facility to flex his muscles.
Might have to send him their way after he was able to be on the call for Lawrence and Nottingham in the CVC quarterfinals.
Yep.
He celebrated his birthday the way you would expect Fish to, and that's under a tent at a baseball game in Mercer County.
Yep. And congratulations to you getting an award at Ryder.
Well, thank you, Joe.
Well deserved.
Notre Dame has it back. Driscoll behind the cage. Down to 2:07 left. Valentino turns it over.
Ooh.
And then the Irish defense gets a little too aggressive that time. Ends up tripping up Hayden Raff. And we're going to get a timeout. So with 2:01 to play, Redbirds on top 11-5. They can sense that CVC title. We'll be back with the finish right after this here on WBCB.
Hi, Merrill Reese reminding you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township. 1490 WBCB, Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties.
Back to action here from Allentown. The Redbirds 2 minutes and 1 second away from capturing that CVC tournament crown. This is Joe, they're going to be able to find their way over the hump, not having to deal with the prep schools, not having to deal with Lawrenceville this year in the Mercer County tournament.
Yep. And
they've really put together an all-around effort once again here today.
Yeah, they played very well on both ends of the field. The offense did what it needed to do. The attack was great. The defense has been very, very good in the second half here against the Irish. And what can you say? Megan Conroy came up big again.
Allentown, we mentioned it right earlier in this quarter. They weathered the storm. Notre Dame, they put up a fight during that first half. They were able to hang with the Redbirds. They trailed by 2 at the break. Allentown, though, showing why they're in the top 10 in the entire state here out of halftime.
One of the things that gets overlooked, I think, with the Allentown is they got very good team speed, too. It becomes a key as, you're transitioning from defense to your attack.
Sullivan to Wagner as these seconds just tick down for the Redbirds. 80 seconds left. 11-5 game. The Irish not playing too aggressively, beginning to concede. Sullivan forced back by Marone. Here's Delaney Nolan. Man, Delaney Nolan, Joe, is really a non-factor today, and it just straight did not matter.
Yeah, it's simply, too, because of the Notre Dame. Whoa.
That's going to be a
Give
penalty
her a good
against Marone.
shot there. The Notre Dame defense just, stepped up on Delaney, but they got so many weapons. You know what I mean? It just, you can't just shut one down and think it's going to change the game.
Marley White, Mia Larenko, both fantastic on the offensive side of things, per usual for Allentown. Larenko on the side, the Allentown sideline starting to celebrate. Larenko starts up on Koziel. That one was thrown away. Ground ball being fought for. White couldn't come away with it. Now fighting with Driscoll. And it ends up with Allentown once again. Looks like they want one more. There goes Nolan, and she finds the back of the net, and she's going to put the finishing touches on this CVC title for her Allentown Redbirds. 12-5, 18 seconds left. Nolan adds one for good measure to put them up by 7.
Yeah, you have to feel good for Delaney Nolan to get that there at the end. She's been the attention of the Notre Dame defense. So.
And so one last draw. It's going to be won by Kate Moog of Notre Dame. Irish down to 10 seconds left. They'll wheel up one final time. Down to 6 and now 5. Valentino behind the net with 4. It's down to 2. And that's going to do it. The Redbirds fly the highest in the CVC. Allentown, your Colonial Valley Conference tournament champions here in 2025. They win it 12-5 over Notre Dame.
Allentown played well. Second half was unbelievable.
They come out of halftime with authority. They outscore the Irish 7-2 after the break. Our Italian People's Bakery player of the game is going to be Marley White. You can find that interview shortly following the conclusion of this broadcast on our YouTube Shorts page. Today's game was brought to you by the Revere Restaurant, the Capital Health System, Notre Dame High School, the Trentonian, the Printing Guru, Glow of Washington Township, and A+ Sports Medicine. Now one final time for the entire crew. Brian O'Neill produced today's stream. Ava Fife did the camera work. For my broadcast partner, Joe O'Gorman, my name's Jordan Hirsch, saying thank you for watching, and have a great night, everybody.